financial planners, stockbrokers, accountants, any advisors that you go to typically will look at the mechanics of money to solve the problem. But for many people, for many clients, it just hasn't quite worked for some reason. And if you think of it logically, it's not difficult to explain the pros and cons of different strategies. So take, for example, how you own your assets. Okay, you can own your assets in a company, in a trust, in a super fund, in your own name, jointly with somebody else, etc., etc. And it's very simple to explain the pros and cons of each structure. So we could lay them out on the table, say these are the pros and cons of each structure. We could go through the how to invest money. There's the passive approach, the active approach, invest in these asset classes and those asset classes, and we could go through all the different investment approaches. We could look at all the estate planning issues, testamentary trusts, how to use self-managed super funds. So my point being that it's not difficult to list every possible strategy, tactic, tool that can be used to solve problems. The problem is how to select the ideal combination of those strategies to solve the issue, solve the problem. Now, what we believe is that you can't do that without looking at the interior of money. You have to look at that's the exterior. So you need to look at the interior, which is your money beliefs. It's the filters or belief system that you bring to that decision-making process. It comes from your past experiences and so on. Without taking those into account, the solutions aren't going to stick. You also need to take into account what your deeper motivators are, your purpose in life. What's most important to you, and those aspects need to be taken into account. Issues around behavioral finance, which is how you respond or react to different changing investment circumstances or conditions. So in order to create permanent solutions, it's critical to be able to integrate the exterior, the mechanics of money, with the interior, which is how you relate to money. Once you've done that, then, and we would call that being conscious. Once you've done that, then it's about looking at the alternative solutions, mapping out scenarios, starting with the extremes. If I do one, what if I make a certain set of assumptions for my ideal scenario, my utopian scenario, or what's the catastrophe scenario, or what's my expected set of assumptions. So there's two critical components to how we do what we do. The first is integrating the exterior, the mechanics of money, with the interior, and the second is to look at all the alternative solutions, the alternative sets of assumptions, so that we can allow you to choose the one that's most appropriate or the one that you most want to become your future. And in that way, in doing those two major steps, what we're doing is we're actually helping you to make a conscious choice about your financial situation and about your life.